All right, welcome to another episode of Soto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. I'm over here in the Supreme Gaming server cluster. Supreme Gaming is one word on the island one. I'm making some charcoal, almost done with it, and I'm gonna see if I can get charcoal here. I'm trying to make a lot of gunpowder because I've been making a lot of bullets, and I kind of got partially finished bullets here. I got a lot of these, so I need to make more shotgun shells. We'll go from there. I still got all of this. I've been storing it in here, like this right here. See, I got some, so I'm not without or anything. Anyway, Bernarda pretty much is maxed out, almost maxed out on levels. So what I decided to do is just put her aside for a while and take out Midway. Midway was my backup bird, but I swapped out the saddle, so now I have a good saddle on it, and I moved all the stuff over for taming purposes. And we're pretty good there as far as I can tell. I'm not going to be taming anything underwater, so I don't really need this. Any arrows. So I'll put the bow and arrow away and just stick to what works. And that's it. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. Alright. I'm going to get started. Let's going to go back to Carno Island. I still haven't found enough high-level raptors to justify putting together the thing. I did manage to consolidate my pterodon on a male, so I have a male with all the 4 stats that I wanted. It's not the best. I think the basis is like 370. Yeah, it's 370 basis, and that's fine. I'm not trying to do the best thing in the world or anything. I just needed something decent, you know what I mean? Anyway, gonna get some videos done here. Let me get over here. Oh man, I just ate a while ago. I'm feeling a little hot because of the sugar going through my blood. It heats you up sometimes. My mom was a diabetic also, and she had whatchamacallit, it's a skin disease or something. Not Gorna, it's gout. It was called gout. And she said that she couldn't eat red meat anymore because it would flare up her gout. Well, I ate 2 hamburger patties today at once, and sure enough, I'm feeling just that. I'm feeling flared up. Yeah, so Midway needs to level, so that's why I swapped them out. There we go. Because if you look at the bar, he's got this many XP, which is nothing compared to the other one. The other one really, really got almost completely developed. And then later on, when this guy gets up in there, I'll go ahead and swap him out with something else. Another bird. I don't know. I did capture some high-level birds over here. I might consolidate them. You know what I mean? Just to have a better basic bird. Because I'm not really communicating with anybody. I'm not really talking with anybody or anything like that. Wow. Why is it that they're always low-level shit? Why is everything in the window shut? Okay, that red one's coming in. I might get some good stuff on that red one. I was a 128. Pretty tough. Anyway, so I did get some birds throughout the time here. Let me go get this before it disintegrates. The red ones are real hot, man. You want to definitely get a red one if it comes down as soon as possible. Don't want to fool around with it. Oh, here we go. Might get some good shit. You never know. Could get an Ascended saddle or something. Or pre-made saddle. Poly. And some armor. Okay armor. Bullets. Compound bow. Compound bow, I'll probably take it apart. Alright, so I do have one video lined up. We'll go ahead and switch over. This is Michael Bordonero. The Fed has just hit the panic button on the economy. Alright, let's go back.
So we had the big 50 basis point Fed rate cut. They hit the panic button. What comes next? Well, I'm going to do my best to try to lay that out here in this video, and obviously there's no promises or guarantees. All we can do is look at the information we have right now and kind of guess what comes next. But I think it's safe to say it's probably not going to be good. Now here's something interesting. Like we talked about a couple of days ago, if they would have only done a 25 basis point rate cut, then the stock market would have freaked out and probably had a little mini crash. So they were essentially expecting a 50 basis point rate cut, and since the Fed pretty much does whatever the stock market wants them to do, then they kind of caved in and did the 50 basis point rate cut. And of course, that was what they were hoping for, and the market shot up. But now that the euphoria is over, and a lot of investors are now sitting there worried, why did they cut by 50 basis points if Jerome Powell kept saying in the press conference that everything looks great and there's literally no indication of a recession? That's what he said, guys. Like, he says, I see nothing that indicates that we are going into a recession and that everything in the economy looks very strong right now. That's what he says. He also said that the labor market is strong right now, so the Fed doesn't seem to be concerned that it's behind the curve when it comes to dealing with maximum employment, because obviously unemployment has been on the rise pretty sharply over the past year, and that doesn't seem to be a problem. But here's something that everyone needs to consider. Why would the Fed cut interest rates by 50 basis points if the economy was so-called fine? Right? They shouldn't have to cut rates at all. They should be able to just leave rates where they are. But instead, they basically hit the panic button and did a big cut, saying, well, there's no promise that the next meeting we're going to have a cut or that we're going to cut by 50 basis points again. We just wanted to get off to a strong start to show everybody that we were serious about bringing rates down. And it's also surprising to me how confident Jerome Powell is in that they're going to be lowering inflation even further, even after such an aggressive rate cut. Because typically, when we see rates go down, it helps inflation go up. Just like supposedly, raising the interest rates was supposed to help inflation come down, and while it has come down, it hasn't gotten towards their goal yet, hasn't gotten to that 2% mark. So they're basically getting ahead of it, right? They're saying, well, it's almost down to 2%, so we're just going to start cutting now. Well, how come they didn't do that when inflation was on the rise? So we'll have to see what happens at the next meeting, if they do a rate cut or if it's by 25 or 50 basis points. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think it's safe to say that if they do a rate cut at all at the next meeting, whether it's 25 or 50 basis points, I would interpret that as, they're still continuing to hit the panic button. Because otherwise, once again, why would they be doing this, guys? Why would they be lowering rates at a time when the economy is supposedly strong? If the economy is strong, there would be no reason to lower them. And you got to understand that every time the Fed kicks off a rate lowering cycle with 50 basis points or more, that's always because we are in some sort of economic crisis. And this is going to look so bad for Jerome Powell, somebody who's supposedly trying to go out with a bang and have, a positive legacy on his hands. It's not going to happen once people look back on these press conferences of him basically lying about the economy. Then we get hit with one of the worst recessions this country's ever seen. Remember when I was talking about the price of gold also? Well, the fact that the price of gold still remains near record highs, even after this rate cut, indicates that probably inflation hasn't completely gone away and there's still a lot of economic concern out there. The world is buying gold because it's the only true way to protect wealth, guys. And this is not a sponsored video or anything. This is just something that I believe in and I've talked about for years here on the channel. Some people have said, well, what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin has, outperformed gold, especially this year and all of this. Like, listen, guys, I own Bitcoin. I do like Bitcoin, but I don't like the volatility of Bitcoin. My honest opinion on Bitcoin is I don't think anybody should buy Bitcoin unless you can afford to lose money. Meaning that however much you invest in it, expect to lose it all, because it has not been proven to really work as money just yet. It's still very new. It's still extremely volatile, as you can see with the massive price swings that we've seen recently. So even though I like it, I don't quite trust it yet. Whereas gold, on the other hand, is money. It's the only real money, and it's the only money that's ever been trusted throughout human history. So that's why I trust it. If it was good enough for our ancestors and everybody up until today, it's good enough for me. But hey, listen, if you think you can do better buying other things like Bitcoin or still investing in the stock market, whatever, go ahead and do that. I don't care. My goal when it comes to my own personal finances isn't getting as rich as possible. It's protecting what I already have. Okay, and that's what gold does, if you ask me. And here's the other funny thing too, right? Like, all of these economic numbers are trying to be painted with a positive brush, right? Like, well, unemployment's still very historically low, even though it's gone up a lot recently. The GDP has been crushing it over the past couple of quarters, and also, we're still not seeing a ton of people losing jobs, and we're still creating a lot of jobs. So these are all signs that things are going great, right? Well, once again, the question is, why did they cut by 50 basis points then? They should have just left it alone. Or do they know that we're already on the way down and that these numbers are going to continue to deteriorate throughout the rest of the year, and they're trying to get ahead of it?
Jesus. Trying to be careful.
But the other thing is, not everybody's falling for this, including me, a lot of people who watch my channel, but also the bond market. Because after the Fed rate cut happened, we actually saw the long-term bond yields go up. Why is that? Maybe it's because investors of bonds believe that inflation is in fact not tamed, and there's still going to be more problems with that moving forward. Most likely. They talked to an asset manager that has $160 billion in assets under management, and she says that we believe rates across the curve had come down too far, too fast. In fact, this asset manager thinks that the 10-year Treasury could end the year north of 4% and even at 4.25%.
Finally.
Well, as of me filming this video, it's already at 3.719%. And it's not just the 10-year that rose, you also had the 30-year Treasury rise as well after the Fed press conference yesterday. And the problem is the market talks about pricing in this whole soft landing, but when you're driving rates so low, that sounds a lot more like a recession. Everybody needs to understand that if you take anything away from this video, is there should be no reason to lower interest rates if everything is fine with the economy. So that's why I said many times in previous videos, always watch what the Fed does, not what they say, right? They say everything is fine, but they're acting as if it's not. That's the simplest way to understand and interpret what just happened. And you also have to understand that the Fed is lying to us and lying to themselves, saying they believe inflation is going to come back down to 2%, even while they are actively cutting interest rates. Well, that's not how it works, because when they cut interest rates, they're most likely to drive inflation back up at a time when it hasn't even reached the level they're looking for. Right now, the core inflation is sitting at 3%, guys. That's higher than the CPI numbers we just got last week. And that's usually the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. And it's at 3% right now. And so by knocking down these rates, they're very likely to push those numbers higher through the end of the year. And if they do, they may have to go back to raising interest rates again, which is going to make them look ridiculous. And I wonder if they'll even actually do it. Now, we also have some other things we can look at, and one of them is the leading indicators from the conference board, okay? And these leading indicators have been falling for 6 straight months. And when these leading indicators fall, it usually signals that we are heading into a recession, or at the very least, a period of low growth in the economy. In August, the leading indicator sank 0.2%, and in July, it went down 0.6%. And all this leading indicator is it's a composite of 10 forward-looking components designed to show whether the economy is in danger of falling into recession and where the economy is headed in the near term. The weaknesses in the economy, according to this index, are still the same, which are weak factory orders and the interest rate spread between 10-year Treasury yields and the federal funds rate. And here's another way that Jerome Powell basically got caught in a lie during his press conference, because in the most recent Beige Book, which is a report released by the Federal Reserve themselves, it showed that 2/3 of the Fed districts that they report on reported flat or declining activity in the economy. So in their own Beige Book, 2/3 of the country is reporting no growth or negative growth in terms of sales and business right now. So how can Jerome Powell come out and say that everything is good with the economy? That's a flat out lie. How come he didn't acknowledge this? Once again, guys, watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say. Economists are even looking at the most recent retail economic data, which shows concerns of us heading into slower economic times and basically a recession. So based on these current economic indicators, it's being predicted that the economy is going to lose momentum in the second half of this year as higher prices and elevated interest rates and mounting debt erode domestic demand. Basically meaning that people won't be able to buy as many goods and services, which will slow down the economy. And remember how we talked a little bit ago about the bond yields actually rising after the Fed rate cut? Well, you have to understand that mortgage rates and car loan rates and almost all borrowing rates are tied to the 10-year Treasury, okay? And since the 10-year Treasury has been going up, actually interest rates for mortgages and car loans have been going up since the Fed meeting as well. This is kind of the opposite of what a lot of people were expecting to happen. So anytime you hear your real estate agent or your mortgage broker or somebody like that tell you, the Fed just cut rates, mortgage rates are coming down. Well, actually, they're starting to go back up now. And now, don't get me wrong, they have been coming down a lot over the past couple of months. But now that they're starting to go back up, it could actually continue to go back up if these long-term bond yields continue to go up. So it's something we need to watch and keep an eye on for the future, and is yet just another thing that shows you how messed up this economy is right now. I mean, there's literally stories everywhere already trying to convince people to refinance because interest rates are coming down, and also trying to, convince people to jump back into the housing market, which I'll make a full separate video on that, of course. But it's just like, when people don't pay attention to what's really going on, it's really easy to get duped and fall into a bad situation. And unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen to a lot of people that just look at the headlines. Ooh, the Fed cut interest rates, or now's a great time to buy a house, and people are just going to do it based on that data alone, which is going to be one of the worst decisions they ever made, most likely. Now, I want to talk about one local issue here in California, which is gas prices. The other day, I went to a gas station here and I saw this sign that says California lawmakers are driving up gas prices. So I took a picture of it and went to the website here to see what's going on. When you take a look at this graph right here, it shows you just how expensive California is compared to all the other most expensive states for getting gas. And California is by far...
It's okay, boy. One second. I want to take a look at that chart. All right. All right, so filling up your tank is a lot cheaper in most other states. New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, New York, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, and then Cali. Woo! I thought we had it bad here in Texas. I think we're like 2 something. So we'd be way down here.
Far the most expensive at an average of $4.60 a gallon right now. Washington State is the only one that even comes close at $4.23 a gallon. Everywhere else is at least under $4 a gallon. So it's obviously very expensive to fill up your car here. But as of August 12th of this year, California drivers now pay on average $1.16 more for a gallon of gas than the national average, and $1.22 of each gallon of gas that you purchase here goes towards local taxes, fees, and environmental programs. And of course, this is all thanks to state lawmakers, and their future plans are to drive gas prices even higher with increased environmental fees in the coming years. Also, you had California's gas tax increase in July of this year, and taxes and fees are set to go up even more, including substantial increases to the cap and trade program and low carbon fuel standard that they have here in California. And get this, even with all the electric vehicles you see around here, still 95% of people in California drive gas-powered vehicles. So this is massively ripping off people that live here in California, even if you drive an electric car too, guys, because don't forget, still the lion's share of the electricity is still produced by natural gas and oil. I mean, look, PG&E here in California, they just raised their rates for the 4th time in 1 year. You know, that's arguably even worse than what's happening with gasoline here. But the reason I wanted to share this is because they actually had something on the webpage here where you can use this tool to send a pre-drafted letter to your local legislator to encourage them to support common sense energy policies and, you know, make fair laws for everybody who lives here in California. And even though I don't live here, I visit here and I'm impacted by this while I'm here. So if you do live here, you should definitely check out this link, guys. I'll have it down in the description below. Always in my descriptions, I share all the stories I talk about. So when you scroll down in the description and you see articles mentioned in this video, that's where you'll find all the links, including this one I'm talking about right here, if you want to send that letter to your local legislators. Can't promise it's going to do anything, but I think it's worth a shot when you're paying close to $5 a gallon here and counting. Some places it's even more.
Ooh,
I mean, the prices swing a lot depending on where you live in California. And for anybody who stuck with me all the way up to the end, today I walked through Bell Marin Keys up here in Novato.
Oh,
and I came up here once before
shit.
just to drive through the area and look at open houses.
Oh,
and it's this
damn it.
huge neighborhood by the water.
It's a good bird and a good
seems like a
raptor.
pretty peaceful place, and it was. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And if you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hopefully I can get it. Alright, so I got you. That's a 232. Gotta remember that. Let me open this up. And hopefully the bird's still alive. There was a 200 over there I was going to get, but I found a 216 close by. But oh shit, it's already killing shit, being attacked. Fuck. Damn it. Is it 232, 56? Okay. No, did they kill the bird? No. Get out of here, you stupid bird. Okay. So when the bird eats that thing, it's going to heal up a little bit. Okay. So what I got to do is I got to try to lure it in. Take it over here. See, it's healing. I might be able to get it if I'm real careful. Wait a minute. Is that scorpion following us? Yes, that son of a bitch is. So it'll eat that. I'm going to try to bring it this way. Go around the raptor. I hope I can whistle all passive to the raptor, because that damn raptor will attack this bird since it's been attacking me. Come on, let's go. If I'm real lucky, I can get it in there before this raptor finishes. No, you fucker. Come on, 216. Let's go. Oh, never mind. Jesus. All right. So this is a 232. If I'm real lucky. Okay. Yeah, I need raptors. Actually need raptors more than birds. Because I don't really have a good bird saddle, but I have a great raptor saddle. And you can't use them to fight bosses, but you can use them to explore and stuff. Alright. So we got that taken care of. Let's get this guy. It's 216. Hey, how you doing? Let's go back down. Come on. Yeah, in the regular game, you can use a special spyglass to see the stats. And you can tell whether or not it's worth taming. See. It can't escape because I got it in the corner and it's after my mount. It's not after me. There we go. All right. Put this over here. That's a good raptor. That's like one level shy of what I need. Well, Michael, as usual, has got a good video. All right. Where are you? Hiding, huh? Shit. It was like chilling out in the night. You want to hit them like on the nose or just below the nose. That usually works. Or in the mouth. Sometimes in the mouth will do it when you want to try to get extra damage. Yeah, like right there, the wing may have gotten it. I don't know. There we go. Earlier today, I got a 216. I think it was a 216 Rex, which is pretty good. It's the highest one I've gotten so far. God, I tell you, I have not seen a 240 Rex on this island since that first time I saw one. Probably the last time I'll ever see one. Oh, shit. Yeah. There's people and their gas prices and shit. You know, the whole purpose of electric is to save money. If you live in a city and you don't travel a lot, an electric car is perfect for you. You know, but the electric bill goes up. You know, think about transportation nowadays with the insurance. You know, I still haven't found a cheaper insurance. I need a cheaper insurance. One lady offered me $42, and I'm paying like 60-something, 62 or something like that right now for liability, which is... It's decent if you're with one of the big boys. But I just need liability. I don't need any of this other bullshit. Besides, insurance became a racket when they made it law to get insurance. They made it a racket. They forced it down everybody's throat. And all of that happened is those people just made a lot of money. It's not about making people accountable. It's about making money off people. Using their lack of accountability as justification to get those laws passed. Keep missing. Oh, shit. Come on, man. Gotcha. Man, that took some time. There we go. 216. That's not bad. Highest is 240. So, you know, you never know. It could have one good stat on there. You know, because it depends on how the stats are weighted. All right. Let's go see if we can gather this and kind of look around. Let's get another video going. Man, these guys are playing games with our reality, man. They're playing games with the money, man. Jeez. Oh. All right, so... How women overseas view husbands in marriage. This is why men are leaving.
Auto insurers love.
All right.
Welcome back, tribe. I have an episode here from the Filipina P.
This is from Legion of Men. He's a pro-masculine, trying to defend the faith.
Been a minute, but saw she tagged us in it. Are women still worth it? Are Filipinas any different? Let's get into it.
Hi, folks. The Filipina P here. And there's a video going around that's getting a lot of attention, but not in the way its creator intended.
So there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children.
Jeez.
My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number two, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number three, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number four, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if
How did you think making this video would come across? What's the point of even being married to you? What the hell? That's crazy.
She
and she's got a ring on her
man.
finger, and the guy is okay with it. I told you guys we have a real masculinity crisis going on here in the entire world, especially the West, but I don't know where she's from. Sounds like somewhere in America. It's crazy the shit men will put up with. They do not respect themselves. They've been beat down. That guy's probably coming from a single mother household. He doesn't know what it means to be a man. He's getting no respect, or he probably saw his father get no respect, and so he's living the same amalgamation of beat down beta bob lifestyle, working to the bone and getting nothing in return. This is crazy.
If I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs
What
new
the
underwear,
hell?
new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown adult, because then they get used to that. So, no.
Now, thousands of angry and disgusted guys have posted their responses, but I thought it'd be interesting to see the reactions of Filipinas. So I'm going to show the video to local ladies and see what they have to say about it. This ought to be good.
See how crazy people look at him. Watch. And the rest of
What do you think of her attitude towards her husband?
I think she's playing on her husband for money.
For money?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get married, would you help your husband with financial problems?
Yes, of course.
If you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we, I don't know, half.
Half?
Yeah.
If you can,
Yeah.
if you can manage.
If I have, what I know, if I have our work, so we need to half the bills or.
But at least you're gonna help.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna help pay the bills
Yeah.
if you can. Do you know of any Filipina who has the same attitude as, you know, that woman?
No.
No?
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah. We are all Filipina. Filipina is lover. I mean, love.
love our our
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
We take care of our family,
Yes.
including the husband.
Yes.
Okay, so hypothetically, when you get married in the future, what can you do for your husband?
I will love all my life, sure.
Now you're gonna give all
Yeah.
your life to him. How about physical intimacy? Because she didn't mention it. Physical intimacy,
What's that thing?
like labing.
Loving.
Lap. Because that's part
I
of
will
a
do it, yeah.
it's part of your relationship,
Yes.
right? If you were a man, kung laki ka,
Yes.
if you were a man, would you marry her?
No, for me, no.
No.
Very no, B.
Very no.
Yeah.
After watching the video, what do you think of her attitude?
Very selfish.
Very selfish. Okay, as a Filipina, how are we different?
We Filipinas, we really care about everything as a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Also in our husbands.
It's common
we do
sense, though.
everything to make them feel home,
Mm-hmm.
love, and
Only in the West, man, will you get a woman that will say yes to marrying you, but then deep down resents you and hates your guts. That shit's so wild to see. Imagine not being inclined to just cook for your husband because actually you care for him and love him and want to see him strong and send
all
him out into
programming,
the
dude.
world fully nourished so that he can come home with more money, more resources. No. Wash your own damn clothes. Wash your own dishes. I'm not taking care of you at all. Okay, then. So go find out a way to pay for the bills then. What the hell? Because I'm only going to pay for the kids' side of the bills. I'm only paying for their rooms. We're going to deduct that from the rent. You're going to have to pay for half of the bedroom. You're going to pay, right? It's like if you want to go tit for tat, then she'll end up losing.
no.
Supported. So when you do the house,
Or checkmate her ass. Bring in a woman that will cook and clean, a maid that's like 20 years old, smoking hot. Hire her for the monthly and say, since you don't want to do these things, here's another woman that will. And then some. And then hopefully she doesn't replace you completely one day.
chores, do you feel like a slave?
No.
Is it beneath you? Why are you
No.
doing that? No.
No, I feel like this is my responsibility, so I will do this with all my heart.
So you're not being forced to do it.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It's our love language to show our partner or our husbands that we take care of you.
Yeah.
What can you offer a man if you get married in the future?
Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Do you think foreigners come here to look for a wife that could take care of them?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know of anyone, your friends, family, that that is someone married to a foreigner?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think the foreigner is happy?
Yes. Yes.
Amega, after watching the video, what do you think of her attitude?
I don't like her attitude.
You don't like her attitude?
Yeah.
Kind of toxic?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of toxic.
If you're a man, would you marry her?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
What does she offer?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Headaches.
Nothing?
Kind of, nah.
Nah? Okay. How are we different as Filipinas?
If I have a husband like that,
Mm-hmm.
we do cooking, laundry, anything like, so to serve our
Jesus.
husband like that.
Okay.
Wow, a
So
real
what do you bring to
woman.
the table? When you get married, what can you offer
A woman
your
who
husband?
doesn't complain. Holy shit.
Food.
Food? You're everything?
Yeah.
What about physical intimacy? Would you show your affection to him?
Yeah, because we're husband. They entertain their husband well, like,
Okay. Imagine coming home to a wife who does nothing, not doing the laundry, and
Yeah.
you have to provide for everything. So what's the
That'd be
point
crazy.
of being married to her, right?
yeah, kind of really toxic for them.
Yeah, very toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Does your mom take care of your father?
Yes.
A lot. Does she do massage to your father if he's tired?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Omega. After watching that video, what do you think of her attitude?
I don't like her.
You don't like her?
Yes.
Why? Why don't you like her?
She was like a very selfish person.
Very selfish person.
Yeah.
Very selfish person. Yeah, I can see that. So, if you were a man, would you marry her?
No, absolutely not.
No? Okay. What does she offer a man?
Nothing. As I watched that video, I saw nothing.
Nothing?
No.
You see?
What about...
That's what I try to tell you guys. The rest of the world is so much more sane when you go overseas. Like here in Eastern Europe, it's not as traditional as the Philippines, but that video would just... People would laugh at her, and then feel sorry for the husband. But you have a sizable portion of the women in America that probably watch that video and go, yes, queen, yes, you
Yeah.
deserve it all.
Yeah.
He should have to do everything for himself and foot the bill.
Yeah.
And he's lucky you gave him kids and all that. Like, that's insane. I can't stress enough the adversarial attitude that exists in the United States between men and women, and just how toxic it is, and how freeing and liberating it feels to finally meet a feminine, friendly, fit woman
shit.
who is the smoke show,
It
who likes to
teleported.
cook, likes to clean, likes to have you lead her, doesn't fight you on little things, no woke ideologies, no I'm a strong boss babe, I'm independent, no I don't need your money bullshit speech, none of that. They grew up with fathers. They know what it means to have a dad in the house. They know what it means and how important it is for safety, for security, the value a father provides. The fact that they grew up, most of these women have grew up without daddies or had deadbeat daddies, if the daddy was even in the picture at all. Do you know how much that psychologically damages a woman? You know why I tell you guys to avoid women, especially ones who didn't have a father present? Unless you really know what you're doing, or she is very self-aware and understands the trauma, which most people aren't. They're just bots, NPCs, forever engaging in the trauma. They are reliving the emotional damage constantly, every single day through their actions. These people have not healed from their issues. It's like playing the game on hard mode. This is why I tell you guys, find people who have strong traditional families. Father is present. He was there to teach his daughter boundaries, self-respect, give her a sense of self-esteem that's healthy, that doesn't depend on the rest of the world. That's a woman that's extremely masculine because she grew up with no father figure present or a bad father figure present. And that's unfortunately a more and more common story for most American families, is we produce more and more broken homes as time goes on. Like in vitro is going to become a popular thing where this is how women are going to get pregnant. They go to a sperm bank. That shit should be illegal. It should be banned. You should not be allowed to bring a child into a home where you don't have two parents. That's wild. That you could just go out there as a
Damn.
single woman, turkey
These are
baster a
some
kid in you,
beautiful women
and then
over
have
there.
to
They're like
bring
Asian.
him up or her up in a single parent
Very
household,
feminine,
knowing
very-
all the statistics,
very
knowing that
delicate,
money, even
very
money
sweet.
does not make a difference. You can have a poor family with a father present, the outcome of the child will still be better. This is crazy, man.
As I watched
Amen.
that video, I saw nothing.
Nothing?
No.
What about, I don't know, being a trophy wife? Do you think, is she a trophy wife?
No. Physically, no.
No?
No.
Why? You don't think she's cute?
No.
Not necessarily?
No. Just
Finally, honest.
She's fat. Ouch. Okay, so how are we Filipinos different from that girl?
Well, considering that we Filipinos we are very loving person, and we accommodate anyone. Like, if ever that, example, my husband, I would take care of him. I
Okay.
would cook for him. I would do all the laundry. I'll do anything for him.
Okay, you heard that she doesn't want to buy him underwear, and then she will only
Wow.
cook for her children.
That's nonsense.
That's nonsense.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very nonsense.
Okay.
She's not a
so
wife. That's the point. She's not a
you,
wife.
hypothetically, what do you bring to the table aside from being loving,
Wow,
cooking,
this is
and doing the
interesting.
laundry?
Well, for me, of course, I want to work so that I can contribute in a table, of course, and then for the house, I'll do this anything that I can offer to him.
You'd want to work and also take care of the household.
Yes.
How would you do that if you're going to do both?
Well,
Coming from home, coming from work.
yes. You just have to expand your time from work then to home.
Okay.
It's just like the same as you went to school. Like if you went to school, you study and then you went home and then do the chores. It's just the same.
All you have to do is just manage the time. Okay, do you know of any Filipinas in your circle of friends or family members that have the same attitude like the girl on the video?
No.
No?
No. I grew up in a family that women are coordinate and very helpful to their husbands, and they also contribute to the table. They work, they have job, they have everything that
On top
needs,
of all that.
In a family.
Okay.
That's a very common thing too overseas, guys. You don't understand that. The traditional lifestyle that we harp on here in the West involves your wife being a stay-at-home, full-time mother. But the women in the rest of the world are already educated, are already providing for their families, do want to work and bring food home and money and cook and clean, do your laundry, watch the kids, give you 2-3 kids and all that stuff, like superwoman level shit. So she wants to work, provide, bring home the bread, also still take care of the home. The conversation isn't, well, you need to make enough money to keep me at home to be a stay-at-home mother so that I can take care of our kids. It's like, oh, we both need to work, make ends meet, make sure our lives are better for our kids. Cool, I'll do that, and I'll still watch the kids and do all this stuff. And then you're telling me that guy in the United States, wherever he was, married that chick that won't even fold his fucking laundry, bro? Or buy, what did she say? His socks and underwear when they needed replacing? Something like that's fucking wild. Nonsense is like the only way you can consider that statement. Nonsense. Ridiculous.
So you think the husband of this woman would stay with her?
If I were him, no.
Yeah.
No? You would divorce her?
Yeah.
In a heartbeat?
If you're a sane person, no. But if you're a mega simp that was raised in the West with no father figure present, and you got no self-respect, and you're basically a walking wallet, doormat, yeah, and you will be part of that statistic where she's going to leave you because she doesn't respect you. Bro, she won't even cook for you. She won't even wash your clothes. Like, that's a ticking time bomb. That guy's relationship is already over. He just doesn't know.
That's a
So he's
200.
slowly digging his grave, working day in and day out, providing for a woman that does not value him whatsoever, does not appreciate him. And you're going to end up part of that 50+% divorce statistic and coming out the divorce all bitter and why the fuck should men ever get married? And that, look at your example. Look at the woman you choose. You got down on one knee and you picked that woman. This shit is self-inflicted. I tell you guys all the time.
Okay.
It's taking what they can get,
what
I
about
think.
physical intimacy, though? Because she didn't mention physical intimacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Physical intimacy.
Well, that's a good catch, by the way. I doubt they're having sex in that relationship. Why would any woman? She's probably cheating on him if she hasn't already. That guy solely exists to not get wrecked in divorce court. He's probably getting psychologically beat down every single day. Again, you chose her, you got down one knee, and you chose to marry that woman. What does that say about that man?
It is a must, okay? It's a must because it is where you show your partner that you're loving, that you are passionate to each other.
So you think physical intimacy is a must in every relationship?
Yes.
Okay. So what advice can you give to that woman if she's listening?
Actually, hello. My advice is that please don't be selfish. Okay, you don't have it all. You have to be grateful that your husband takes care of you and your children and gives you everything that you need. So you should also contribute and then takes care of him.
That video was kind of weird, right? What do you think of her attitude?
She doesn't know about anything about obligation on husband. She didn't say anything about like what she can do for him. She felt comfortable with these things. She thinking like this is the right thing for her. Then she just doing like, oh, okay. let me do this part for me only. Like she's not thinking about the man part only for herself.
If I were the guy, she's not very pleasant girl. I think I'll just do it on my own.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a Filipina, you were born and raised here.
Yes.
How are you different from that woman?
I think it is like really like a big difference because when it comes to our culture, our parents raise us like when you're gonna marry, you have this obligation, and we already know that. Like all Filipinos know that stuff. That when we married, we supposed to know like how to clean the dishes, to wash our husband clothes, and to take care of like housewife
Basics.
doings. Yes.
It's automatic.
Yeah.
We do that because we love the person.
Yes. It is already in our mind.
Okay.
I'll be right
Why should a
back.
man
I gotta
marry
go
you?
put my
What's so
boy out.
special about you? Why not marry me or her or the other girls? Why should this guy marry you instead of other girls?
In our family also like tradition, it is not allowed to do like drinking alcohol or cigarettes like this stuff. I never do like this.
Okay, so
And-
you don't,
yes.
you don't
There
have
you go.
any
And
vices.
nightlife, yes, nightlife.
Oh, so
You
you'll
hear
be
that?
a devoted wife.
Yeah. As what we watch in a video, I think I can do.
So you heard that? No drinking, no smoking, no going out to clubs. Imagine telling a Western woman something like that.
In a reverse of what she not doing. Yes, when you go to the marriage, when you go to church, it is already part when they say to your vows, like for better or for worse, you're gonna be there.
Well, thank you, Amanda. I think your future husband is going to be very, very lucky.
I hope so.
What do you think of her attitude?
She's so sarcastic.
Okay, she's so sarcastic.
I don't see him as a wife.
Okay.
As she's so very material wife.
Okay. She's so materialistic.
Yes. Well, growing in the Philippines, my mother told me, and also my grandma told me that when you grow up, you should act like a humble person. Show them how you respect. Show them your whole life, your love. I will act him loyal and also be faithful to him.
Okay, your loyalty and your faithfulness.
Yes.
So you'd stay no matter what?
Yes. Through thick and thin.
Through thick and thin. What if he lost his job and he can no longer support the family? Will you stay with him?
Yes. Well, I can work.
Okay.
50-50.
Do you see?
Okay.
If
You see what I tell you guys? The mentality, it's not adversarial. You're not going to lose your position as a husband, a married man, just because you lost your job. The woman is immediately going into, how can I help mode? How can I help us? Okay, can I help pull the weight? Is there something I can do? Get a job? Can I volunteer here? Do this? What is it, baby? How can I help you? The mentality in the West is, well, you better figure that shit out because I'm not going to wait around forever. What? Unreal, dude. Never, ever, ever get married in the West. Ever. The mentality is straight poison.
well, if he don't have, well, I don't have, then I can offer him what I have.
Okay, so you'd support him.
Yes.
You're not just gonna disappear because he can no longer work.
Yes.
Even if he becomes a, disabled, like.
Yes.
So you'd stay with him. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Love for me is, you should, no matter what happened, you should stay by side.
Ah, okay. So
Do you hear that?
and thin.
Yes.
So death do us part.
That to us part.
Okay. Plus we don't have divorce here. This woman is not acting like a lady.
Yes.
Okay.
She asked him like a stupid one.
Okay. So her offering to her husband is just treating her husband like a stupid
Stupid.
one. Okay. Okay, the joke's on you for marrying me. That's what she's
yes.
giving off, like the vibe. Okay.
I'm
Do you
back.
have any Filipino friends with this kind of attitude?
Yes, based on
Wow.
my past.
Mhm.
Well, my best friend, she's so like that too.
Okay, she won't cook for her husband.
Yes, she's a single mom right now because she don't know how to act of service. She don't know how to love her husband.
You hear
She
that?
only offers her husband. She only wants money.
Oh, so she is kind of materialistic. So the husband.
Single mothers, bro, around the world. Single for a reason. Materialistic. Only wants his money. Doesn't give him acts of service. Doesn't take care of him. Why am I single? Why won't men want to be with me? Why don't they stick around? This is like echoing what happens in the dating pool. But forget the marriage part, forget the kids part. Women are always wondering, why do men keep pumping and dumping me? Why do men keep ghosting me? Look at what this woman just said. It's the same issue. All you care about is money, material possessions, status. You care about being taken to the best restaurants, the cues. Everything you're showing your man is that you're only here for the short term. The potential prospect sitting across from me at the table, eyeing you up and down, going, is this going to be a good woman? Is this going to be a good wife one day? The future mother of my children, let me see. And then dumb shit comes out of your mouth like, why are we here? I've been to better restaurants. This food's kind of shit. I've had much better. Yes, can you move out of the way so I could take this picture? And then, can you have my phone and take the selfie? Can you do it like just from this angle? And like, how much money do you make? Oh, wow. Like, I'm looking for 6'5", blonde, blue-eyed, blah, 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 blah. Next, bro, pump and dump. You're garbage. You are catch and release protocol. And this is what's happening. They wonder why men aren't taking them seriously for long-term relationships. You haven't uttered a single word that says, I would make a good mother, I would make a good wife. It is not a shock at all. We've been telling women the game, this is what you need to do. You want to secure a man for long-term, this is how you need to act, this is how you need to dress, this is how you need to speak. They don't want to listen, bro. I'm in my boss babe era. Enjoy the cats and boxed wine. We keep telling you.
Don't laugh?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. What do you think of her attitude?
She's so disgusting as a woman.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
And she kind of sounds like she's so entitled.
Yeah.
Like she owns everything and then just me, 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 me.
I think she's not really a woman.
Maybe she is an alien.
You know that Filipino culture is always different from others, and we are raised well. Our parents teach us to be polite, and we also have to take our responsibility carefully. So I think we are really raised well than other country.
Okay, so you think her parents didn't, didn't do a great job?
Maybe her parents raised her well, but she's different.
Okay, she's just a different. So
No,
what is
her
she
parents are
offering
the
her
same.
husband? Because I didn't.
That kind of bitterness only comes from her mama. I'm telling you guys. Meet the parents, bro. If you think you got a prospective woman that's good for long term, meet the parents. Watch the mother. You'll become her mother one day. Watch how the mother acts. Watch how the father acts. Watch their dynamic. You're the one that's judging. Remember, dude, they used to pay dowry and shit. You know that the families of the women used to pay you to take her off their hands. You understand how far we've fallen? Do not be afraid. There's this Western trope of the man shaking his boots, meeting the father, and hopefully you get a firm handshake. That's fucking bullshit. I'm about to provide for your daughter. I'm about to take her off your hands. I'm about to extend this family out and bring in more resources. I better have the fucking red carpet rolled out for me when I come to the house. I will be judging you. You better be on your best behavior. If the man's not a man, it's a next. If the wife is berating the husband, it's a next. I'm not the one that's going in afraid. They better be shaking in their fucking boots because I'm going to judge every single little interaction. Why? Because that set the stage for what my relationship is going to be like with that woman. What our dynamic will look like. Was she raised in a healthy dynamic or not? We're about to find out. And if she wasn't, does she have the self-awareness? Has she done the therapy? Is she introspective enough to understand that she doesn't want that? Because there's a rare few gems that come out of relationships like that, where imagine it's like the alcoholic story with the two brothers. One will grow up to be an alcoholic just like the father and beat his kids the same way. And the other one will swear off alcohol just because he was raised in a hellish household and saw the example his father was and will vow to never be like his old man again. So you can potentially meet a woman that comes from a broken household that would vow just through the trauma alone to never, ever replicate their parents' relationship ever. That's really hard to find though, dude, but those make some of the greatest partners because they never want to pass on the trauma and the emotional damage that they had to their own kids because they were the ones that felt it firsthand. But that's hard. Men that don't really have experience with women should just stick to the basics. Strong families that are together, still religious, conservative family household where the man is still leading. Typically that gets you, quote, the easiest relationships because those women are already pretty much raised in households that are conducive to long-term relationships, marriage, and children.
Hear anything? Just me, 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 me.
I think only herself.
Herself? Just sex?
Maybe.
I don't even know if it's good sex though.
Yes.
So imagine coming home to a wife like that. What would you feel if you were the guy?
I feel mad, like angry.
Angry?
Very disgusting.
But what's the main thing that guys always want?
I think loyalty and honesty.
Loyalty and honesty.
Yes.
What do you think of her attitude?
Upon watching the video, I can say that she is too focused or centered to her children to the point that she already forgot her commitment or her responsibility to her husband.
Okay.
Yep.
And mentioned it's her children.
Yeah, that's
not
why
their children.
She sounds very selfish to the point that, yeah, she only thinks that she owns the children without her husband. So that's why I can't really say that she's a selfish wife. I really thought that she's a single mother, the way how she talked, the way how she delivered her ideas, and how she only focusing on her children, not to her husband. So is she a single mother, or does she have a husband? Like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you were a guy, would you even consider having a date with this woman?
No, because one of the consideration of a guy when he is going to marry a woman is being responsible. The act of service is always there, should always there.
Okay.
And that is the only thing I think I can see that the girl or the woman on the video, she doesn't have that act of service to her husband.
Right. What do you think she's offering her husband at the moment?
Only to bear children.
To bear children. Okay. Aside from that, how about
Nothing.
I don't know, maybe
Be real.
being the eye candy?
No, basing on her physical appearance, she's not a trophy wife.
She's not a trophy
She's
wife.
living a good life, I can say.
A good life meaning to say well-fed?
Yes, exactly.
To put it, nicely, she's kind of well-fed by the husband. So, if you were in the husband's situation, knowing that your wife...
Hey, that's a good way to call them fat today. Just you're looking well fed. You ain't skipping any meals. Avoid well fed ladies in the West.
Cook for you, do the laundry for you, not even buy you underwear. What would you feel? Would you divorce this woman?
Maybe it is not the best solution to divorce your wife if she's not doing her responsibility inside the house. Maybe I should just there are times that we need to talk with our wife or her husband regarding on those things that the two of us only just know. So talk with each other and try to tell
Think
the
about the
girl,
kids.
the woman to do the responsibilities and how a wife should act inside the house, because that is one of the responsibilities.
And before you get into the marriage phase listen, vet your woman forever before you put the ring on, okay? It's any relationship you get into, the vetting phase doesn't just end when you check off a few boxes here and there and you go, that's good enough, the rest we can work on. No, you vet this person consistently up until the point that you get down on one knee. Once you get down on one knee, the vetting stage is over. You've decided that this is your life partner. But until then, you constantly have to check if this woman is the correct woman to bear your children and be your wife and your partner for life. Your spouse for life, dude. When you are 70 fucking 8 years old, rocking in the chair, on your porch, overlooking everything, are you holding your woman's hand and just talking about shit, about life in general? Are you overlooking your children and their kids, your grandchildren running around your yard when they come to visit every once in a while? Did you guys build a good legacy of life together? Can you envision that? If you can't see that future for yourself, that's probably not the woman for you then. And if she's showing some red flags, certain red flags have more weight than other red flags. If there's one of these red flags that are absolute deal breaker, guys, it's very important you do not fall in the sunk cost fallacy. I know it's difficult, but you need to cut loose before you include marriage and kids when it's too hard to separate. You may like this person, but they may not be the right person for you. They might have enough good things going, but they might not be the person you should truly be with. Take your time. Don't rush into any of this.
Do laundry, do cooking, taking good care of the children and your husband. You are not just marrying to bear children, but of course you're marrying that guy because you love him. So this part of it.
And what's crazy is, even though I tell you guys this stuff, I get messages from dudes, emails, consults. Guys are talking about well, I've met. Here's how fucked up men are. I know this woman for 8 months, 9 months now. We've been talking, and she seems really nice, and we're kind of dating. And I go, oh, dating? So how many dates have you been on? None. It's just all online. I don't know how to explain to you guys that talking to online profiles doesn't mean shit. One single date that woman can go on physically with a man will bear out more bonding, more connection than your 9 months of talking online. You're talking to a profile. It's not dating. You don't know this person. It's all fake. There's a lot of dudes that are just flying overseas after talking to some women online and then thinking already she's the one, getting married after like 2 FaceTime calls. What the fuck are you doing? This is how starved men are for intimacy and attention. It's crazy, dude. A man will think with the little man downstairs. Absolutely no rational thought hitting his brain. It's just wild.
Idea of your commitment, you provide commitment, you made vows together,
Right.
yeah, you made vows together, like in thickness and in health, you should helping each other in every single thing inside the house. So yeah, I think the divorce is not the best solution. I think
Okay.
you just need time to talk with each other.
Do you think there's a chance for the husband to talk to this woman? There's a
No.
way to save her, to change her mind and become somehow a loving wife?
There's always a room of improvement. So
Okay.
there is a perfect time for them both to talk with each other and to open up things like that.
Okay. Well, how are we different? As a Filipina, how are we different from this woman?
Well, we are. It is one of the famous quote of Filipinos, like the wife or the ilaw ng tahanan, which there should be the one who took good care of their children, including her husband, and giving love fairly. Not just you're just focusing on your children, but on your husband as well, because we cannot deny that your husband came first in your life.
Right. He should be your priority,
Yes,
and then the children,
Yep.
right? Okay. So, what?
That's a crazy concept for people to wrap their minds around in the West. That's how toxic it is. Your husband comes first. The children come after. The entire health of the family unit depends on the mother and the father getting along well and having a strong, stable foundation together, which then happiness, security, all that shit, the children will derive from that. It comes down from the parents first. Women that have children and completely neglect their husbands are killing their own relationships. They're killing the future of their children. Your man is your number one priority, period, in a marriage, especially if you are so blessed to be a stay-at-home wife where the man can afford to provide for all of you and your only job is the kids. That shit is mind-blowing that you would put your kids before your man, the one providing everything. Without him, all of that falls apart. That's common sense. In the rest of the world, that's common sense. That is literal common sense. In the West, we're living in an upside-down world. It's crazy.
Bring to the table. Why should a man marry you instead of other Filipinas around here?
Maybe one of the personality that made me unique aside compared to the other Filipinas here is that I know how to communicate well with my husband. I know how to get contented, and I know how to give love fairly, and how to support fairly with my children, my husband as well.
Okay, so aside from just being there doing the household chores, because obviously a guy can just hire a maid, right? But you offer more than that. You offer support emotionally and financially if you can. Okay. What about physical intimacy though? We didn't hear her talk about physical intimacy. What about sex?
When it comes to intimacy, well, we cannot deny that when you are in a married life, this is already part of it. Well, it is not a responsibility as what you've said. You still have the right to say no if you're not willing to do it.
If you're not in the mood.
Yes, if you're not willing to do it. So you still have the right to say no for that. Yeah, it is already part of a married life.
Okay,
the intimacy.
Doing all the house chores and supporting your husband and then cooking for him, doing the laundry. Do you feel like you're oppressed because you're doing that? It's like you're a slave to your husband because you're doing that?
No, it is very fulfilling for me that I was able to perform all of my duties and my responsibilities, not on my children only, but as well as on my husband. So yeah, I think that is also one of the achievement as a wife that we are able to perform perfectly, or not perfectly, like
Perform.
yeah, perform. I performed, yeah.
Perform day and night.
Yes, we have to perform. Yeah, it is very fulfilling as a wife that we are able to perform all our responsibilities and our duties as a wife, as a mother.
Now, any of you that understand Filipinas aren't surprised by the reactions to that woman's video. But I have to wonder what exactly she thinks her job is. Maybe landlord, warden, household administrator? I bet she even has a sex contract where every encounter is negotiated, complete with a long list of do's and don'ts. And I bet the list of things she won't do outweighs the number of things she will. How romantic. Now, surely not all women over there are like this. I met plenty of reasonable women when I visited the US. But the fact that her video got over 53,000 likes shows there's some support for her position.
Yep.
If this is the growing trend, then I really do pity you guys. Who wants to marry a woman like that? What could you possibly get out of it?
It's a desperate
You get
fool,
nothing,
that's
and
all.
don't pity them. They're leaving. That's why Passport Bros is blowing up. That's why going overseas and starting a family is blowing up. It will become mainstream. I guarantee it's not seated in the minds of millions of men yet. But I guarantee you, every single man at one point or another in the next decade or so in the United States will have a contingency plan of going overseas to find a woman. I'm telling you, it's going to become the norm. Right now, it's still very much a niche. It's not that much talked about. It's just starting to get big, but give it 10 years. Give it 10 years in the contingency plan of I'm going to work hard in my 20s, play in my 30s, or go overseas for a couple of months and I'm going to find a good woman. Either bring her back or stay over there. Most guys realistically will be making their money in the West, so they'll bring them back in the West. It's not the ideal situation, but bringing one of them back to the West is 1,000 times better than the current woman in that video. Okay? We have a strong need to be fathers. We do have a strong need and want to lead a household. You cannot beat this out of men. We want to be leaders of our own household, shepherds of our families. That will involve a lot of men going overseas and bringing women back. It is what it is. It's not ideal, but it sure as hell beats being lonely. It sure as hell beats the lifestyle that guy's living with that harpy of a woman. So, ideally, you stay overseas and don't have to deal with the laws, but even in the United States, the laws are changing. So conservatives in Florida and a few other states got rid of permanent alimony. And the way they calculate alimony is different now. So the tide is turning slowly. Give it 10 years. You'll see what I mean. That woman should be the poster child for why the Passport Bro movement exists. Yeah. My first wife actually said to me that intimacy would resume if I purchased the house for her. We are not married anymore. It never ceases to amaze me how in America the women with the least to give demand the most. She's not married. She has a roommate. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I've been telling you, life overseas, dude. I got videos all on the second channel walking around. You can see just what the women look like. I tell you guys what the difference is culture-wise, what it's like to be in a nation where it's family forward and family oriented. A completely different vibe. You actually want to meet a woman, start a family. The laws are fair. There's no combative nature to the women. They're not aggressive and masculine. They welcome men to be leaders and masculine in a traditional sense. They seek it out, actually. It's not demonized like it is in the West. All those links are all these videos that pop up here at the end if you haven't tuned into the second channel. Join us on the private community. Hang out on some of the calls that we have. We have 5 of them a week, sometimes more. Appreciate everybody that's been doing private consults, as well as buying shirts. I don't have my Hoflation mug, but that would have been perfect for this episode. When I grabbed it. Here. Appreciate everybody that's been getting Hoflation mug. They've been selling out like hotcakes. The links are all in the description below. Again, I'd like to say, appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Fuck, man. If I wanted to destroy a country, I wouldn't attack it with guns or bullets or armies. I'd send a bunch of immigrants over there to use up the resources and destroy their financial system. I'd put out a bunch of psychological operations that turn women against men self-righteously and hypocritically to where they don't have to do anything they're told and they're always right and all this. And this is the end result of that sort of thing. People have become their own biological weapon. They've been weaponized. And they don't understand that they're there and they're just going to destroy this country. That's why I don't expect America to be here, at least not in this incarnation. Once everything goes down, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find out what pain is. Because you're going to have to go beg the government for help. And stand in line like an idiot, because they're not generous, they're not kind, and they got no real love for you. They're the system. The system is always shit, no matter where you go. They're not obligated. And, this whole thing, it's a series of cause and effect, like a domino effect. one domino hits the next domino, and then that one hits the next and the next. And that's how you get your progression. That's all this is. This stuff is freaking ordained, man. It has been this way for the longest time. And it's been a long time coming that people finally give in to what's been ruling them, shall I say. And it's a thought process that really isn't very good for you. Even if you think you're a very well-rounded person, very smooth, very good person, that feminism, and I'm calling it feminism. There's really a better word for it, I'm sure, but it's kind of like feminism where women are superior. My mom was very arrogant, and she would always lie. She was an excellent gaslighter where she would lie and turn me against myself and just manipulate me. She was cruel because I was just a toy to her. I wasn't a human being. I was just a plaything. And that's why, I got a lot of I got programmed with a lot of that Dark Lord mentality. But the truth is, you don't have to be that way. It's just that putting faith in finding a woman that's going to love me and back me up is like gone. My faith in that shit is gone. I didn't have enough faith, and I was always petrified and afraid of women because she perpetually abused me and traumatized me. I was actually afraid of women for a very long time. I'm not afraid anymore, but when you're young and you're manipulated and you're programmed to think a certain way and to do a certain thing, you get manipulated. You get put in that position. And that thought process carries through, guys, unfortunately. So anyway, hopefully this thing will tame one of these days and it won't disappear on me. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I had some brethren in the church when I was younger, and they went to Mexico and got wives. They went to Mexico and got wives over there. And Brother Russell didn't even know Spanish. He couldn't even speak Spanish. So I'm like, how are you going to talk to her? How are you going to talk to her? How are you going to talk to these? I mean, they're very beautiful women. They're Mexicanas. They're over there. They're from Nuevo Laredo, from probably brothers and sisters in the church over there. They're beautiful young ladies, but if you can't understand the language, what are you going to do? Sign language and, the language of love? What the fuck? But, at least these girls, they're from a different country, but they know English, right? They know English. A lot of people from outside know English because it's a pretty standardized language. It's for business and things like that. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That video. She was selfish, and then she's fat. Yeah, my mom was very self-centered. She was very narcissistic, a toxic personality, and she was a feminist, even though she wouldn't admit it. She did everything in her power to deny me what I wanted, put me down, and punish me for nothing, for doing nothing but trying. That was my flaw, is that I tried. So she literally destroyed. This woman was so sick, she literally destroyed my future, my heart, my soul, everything. And you know what the truth is? It doesn't matter because I got my heart back. I got my soul back. I could get married if I really wanted to, but I'm 53. It's too late. And I got no money. I got nothing right now. Nothing to offer that beautiful young woman that would be not nice enough to marry me. And do I want to marry an American woman? Like that lady there that was in that interview telling her husband what's what and shit. I mean, do I want that? Hell no. Why the hell would I want that? What kind of shit is that? You know what I mean? It's just stupid to even consider it. Anyway, I'm going to try to make some more spark powder. Because I know I got plenty of charcoal. Make some more gunpowder also. Okay, let's get some stone. Oh, I did manage to download the 4X program. It's just 4x.com. It's a very basic one. But I had some issues, technical issues with it, so I have to go do some other things. But it's in process. I'm hoping I can... The minimum to transfer over there is $100, so that's what I'm going to do. All right. Let's see. Can I get gunpowder? Jesus, guys. That's so sad, man. That, okay, that won't work. People are going through that shit right now. I'm going to go ahead and unload Midway. And I'm going to go ahead and get some shit arranged here. And then I'll start another video. I got to go feed the animals outside anyway. But thank you for watching. Just to go over the credit from the last video. This gentleman here.
Who stay over.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what that is. So this guy is, what was it, Legion of Men? Legion of Men. He has 409. Dude, this guy is super macho. He really likes to promote the masculine side of things. He doesn't, he exalts us. He finds people like these ladies that actually take pleasure in a masculine man. Not rebellious women. Basically, they called them selfish women. But if you look at the scriptures, there's rebellious women that are against their husbands, that fight their husbands. My mom fought me because she didn't have a husband at the time, and she just saw me as something to just play with. So she had a lot worse problems than just that. She was various things, but all that abuse taught me that if you get the wrong kind of woman, you're screwed. But see, on the surface, a woman could look like this and seem all innocent and pure and righteous, and she can give you all the right answers. Look how beautiful they are. They're so cute. They're dressed well. And you know what? That shit can change in an instant, and she shows you her true colors. So be very careful that you know exactly who you're fucking and getting along with and considering marrying, because ultimately that's going to be a life partner, and she could take half your shit in America. And a lot of them are gold diggers. They'll do that just because they can. That's the way it is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video and clean this up and go feed the cats. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.